Hello, I'm Donald Leggett, and welcome to our latest London South East CEO interview. We're joined today by Helge Hammer, CEO at AIM-listed Longboat Energy, on a particularly busy day for the company. Longboat are to create a joint venture with Japan Energy to be named Longboat Japex, with the goal of building a Norwegian-focused independent. In return, Japex are investing up to $50 million for 49.9% of Longboat Japex. The Longboat share price reacted positively, with LBE shares up more than 120% at one point today. Longboat CEO Helge Hammer joins us. Welcome, Helge.
Thanks a lot. Yes, very, very happy today and very happy with the announcement.
So an exciting day for you, Helge?
Very exciting, yeah, and been very well received across the board. So that's really good.
Okay, it's great to have you back. And once again, you've taken us by surprise with this Japex funding JV announcement. You're always pulling technicals out of the hat. Positive surprises, I have to say, positive surprises for shareholders. So to be clear, all the current Longboat Norwegian assets are going into the new JV, but not the Malaysian ones, with Japex providing development and drill funding as agreed between you going forwards.
That's correct. So this is a Norwegian deal. So Japex is buying into the Norwegian subsidiary for 49.9%. PLC remains fully independent company, and the new Malaysian business remains fully independent under PLC. So that is not part of this deal. So
and what about some of your other assets? Are you still pursuing the sale process for Croatia, which I can't actually pronounce, but I'm sure you will for us?
Yeah. Well, we said we would monetize Croatia, so that was this is really an alternative deal that we have made. So the pressure to monetize Croatia is really off. So I would say that's not very important. No, we are in a much stronger position to actually pursue Croatia, and if we sell Croatia, we do it from position of strength when the time is right. That would typically be when the project is sanctioned, or we may just choose to sit and look through. Croatia actually interesting because there is so much activity around it and opportunity to grow in it, and we have the Lotus well, which is just next to it. So that's off for the time being.
But the JPEX funding has totally transformed your outlook, hasn't it?
Yes, it is really transformative, and the beauty of this is we avoid a very dilutive share issue in PLC. I know the Norwegian business is properly financed, both through the payment for the shares, the up to $50 million, but JPEG also offering a $100 million finance facility for acquisitions and capex. So it puts us in a completely different and much stronger position for growing in Norway.
It is very exciting. Just simply as a bystander, I'm excited on your behalf.
Yes.
Why do you think JPEX chose to work alongside you guys, the Longboat team, and not simply buy you out?
Well, I think it's a very sensible deal for JPEX, because rather than either just buying a company or just they're starting from scratch, which they could have, which were options they had. They have chosen to work with somebody and build a relationship with somebody, and that happens to be us. I mean, we have been in Norway for years. We have a strong team. We have intimate knowledge of all the Norwegian assets, the M&A market. So all of that is the intangible on top of the assets, which I think JPEX has appreciated.
You and the team are a very useful intangible, I have to say. I've heard you talk the Norwegian sector a couple of times, and you have a formidable amount of knowledge, Helge.
Yes, and the Norwegian sector remains very, very active. Very busy, lots of wells being drilled, lots of projects being developed. So it represents a huge opportunity. Also has a very strong ESG profile in Norway. So I understand why Japex would like to be in Norway.
And the one thing you haven't mentioned, the tax regime. Just briefly talk us through the tax regime, as well as those other benefits. The tax regime is terrific, isn't it?
Absolutely. There were some changes made during the COVID period to keep the oil companies investing. And one of those changes was that the tax refund that the Norwegian state is paying out, was extended from just being exploration to now being also available for general investments. So that means that the project economics are much improved. So high return on project economics, and also much more financeable. So it's a great place to invest in projects.
Okay, terms of the deal. Talk us through the terms of the deal. As I understand it, you're getting cash investment of 16 million, possible further 4 million if a small acquisition happens. 30 million more if the Velocette drills is a success, and also that 100 million acquisition financing facility, which is incredibly useful going forward. It makes you fully funded for lots of things.
Absolutely.
Put that into context. What does that mean for Longboat?
Well, it means that we are in a really strong position for doing deals in Norway. We can pursue all sorts of opportunities. We spent quite a lot of time with Japex to make sure we are aligned. We see the same opportunities, and that's why we also have that first acquisition in negotiation, which could give us that extra kicker of $4 million on top of the 16. So that's a deal that we have already shared with Japex, that we had underway before we started talking. That's a small deal, but it will be a useful deal, give us a little bit of production. So be a good step in the right direction.
Is it production you're looking for, Helge?
Yeah, definitely. I think we like to have cash from production, but we see that buying production straight in Norway is very expensive. Mm-hmm. It's a market that is very hard to be competitive in. And now with all these projects that are underway, we see that, and the tax change we talked about, we see that buying into some projects that are underway is probably a better way to get production. So you could get so what we foresee is we buy into 1 or 2 or 3 projects, and then we will have very decent production in 3 to 5 years' time.
Okay. And how much production do you expect to get out of the current assets that you have, or is that a terribly difficult and complex answer?
Yeah, that's difficult. That's a very difficult question, actually, because we have this Kveikje, and that I think that will become part of a big project, and Kveikje is a really good discovery. We have Osvik, which could deliver significant production, but needs an appraisal well. And then we have this deal that we hope to deliver. So, but with adding 1 or 2 assets, then production can become, very decent. And in the 10 to 20,000 barrels per day, I think.
So today is really a phenomenal step forward to you become a mid-tier oil and gas company.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think that's a good way to put it. Actually, it just shows that this is just the beginning still, and we have some very exciting years ahead.
You have indeed. Okay, Velocette and Lotus are the only wells left in the current program. So perhaps tell us when they will be drilled and what the future holds there.
So Velocette is scheduled for Q3 this year, so late summer. That well is targeting big gas resource in Norwegian Sea, and Japex has a contingent payment on a successful Velocette outcome of somewhere between $0 and $30 million. So that makes Velocette even more exciting. That kicker is effective from 85 million barrels up to 200 million barrel discovery, and the mean volume that is expected is 177 million. So if that comes in, we'll get a very good extra payment. So that's Velocette. And then Lotus, I understand the operators looking for a rig at the moment for drilling that in early 2024. Then we have Osvik potential appraisal, which will be a decision towards the end of the year for 2024 well, and then we're looking at other opportunities. So I'm sure we're going to keep generating a really interesting drilling program.
Okay. How would you summarize the joint venture strategy? How would you outline it? And how will it add value for Longboat shareholders and the business?
Well, it's a strategy for growth. I think Japex, as we have learned to know them, are very sensible, as are we. So we will look for good value accretive deals. Those deals would be acquisitions of some projects. So that's an important part of the business plan. And then we keep drilling low risk wells that are exploration appraisal wells near infrastructure in Norway that could generate further value. So that's kind of the agreed and aligned strategy.
Okay, that all sounds very sensible. Okay, my last question: what happens next with the JV? When does it become operational, and what news flow can we expect from you all in the next year?
In the first instance, we now need to get to completion on his deal, and hope to do that in the next 2-4 months. That's a process with Norwegian authorities, so we don't really control it, but hopefully that should be fairly straightforward. Then hopefully we can deliver on that smallish deal that will give us that extra kicker of 4 million. Then deliver on deals in Norway in the second half of the year, projects, and then we will have a focus on Malaysia, and Malaysia, very exciting. We've got one license, and we have a lot of opportunities that we are screening in that area, which are also very exciting.
Helge, that's fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us. That's Helge Hammer, CEO at Longboat Energy. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for explaining the transformational Japex joint venture to us. To see more interviews like this one, please subscribe to the London South East YouTube channel. You can also follow us on Twitter at London South East. As ever, thanks for watching. Do look out for future interviews. Thank you.
Thanks, Donald.